Good evening, I'm Lisa Broom. This is the CBC Evening News. A comprehensive overhaul of Barbados' civil aviation sector is underway, and it will eventually see this country upgraded from Category 2 to Category 1 status. The move could generate foreign investment. A major step in this direction was taken today with a groundbreaking ceremony for a new civil aviation building. Ryan Broom reports.
In another 14 months, a new civil aviation building will be going up here at Charnock's Christchurch at a cost of $10.9 million. The new building, located near the Air Traffic School, will be home to the Civil Aviation Department, the Meteorological Office, and the Air Transport Licensing Authority. Addressing the groundbreaking ceremony, Minister of Tourism and International Transport Richard Seeley said government is committed to building a comprehensive aviation industry.
It is therefore a #1 priority for us to get the Category 1 status going at the earliest date, since, as it stands now, air operators are a little reluctant to set up business in a state that doesn't have this status. With the outstanding deficiencies and safety oversight capability upgraded, Barbados is expected to be granted its Category 1 status by the FAA, and civil aviation will grow at even a greater pace in Barbados.
Mr. Seeley explained that Category 1 status would open doors for new foreign investment.
I'm told that over the years we've had a number of approaches by investors seeking to set up airline businesses here. And of course, when Barbados obtains its Category 1 status, it is anticipated that we will not only get back those offers, or certainly get new offers, but we will also be able to pursue in a more active way the aircraft registry that we would love to see here.
Meanwhile, the minister also expressed regret about the poor state of the building presently housing aviation staff, which was actually condemned by health officials last year. Government was paying annual rent of more than $200,000 for the building. He said for the duration of the construction at Charnock's, staff will be temporarily relocated to a section of Grantley Adams Airport's main building that recently became available. Reporting from the site of the new civil aviation building at Charnock's Christchurch, I'm Ryan Broom for CBC News.
An elderly man is dead after an early morning fire extensively damaged his Cane Vale Christchurch home. He is 90-year-old Goldburn Callender, who was an amputee and wheelchair-bound. The fire occurred just about midnight. The house was occupied by the deceased and 9 other people, 3 of them children. Lawmen are yet to identify the skeletal remains discovered on Friday. The remains were found in an apartment at Lighthouse Lane, Atlantic Shores, Christchurch. They're seeking the public's assistance in getting any information that may help them to identify the body. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Oistins Police Station at 418-2612. A Jamaican hairdresser will face 3 years at Her Majesty's Prison at Dodds if $30,000 in illegal drug-related fines are not paid. This after she pleaded guilty to a number of drug charges when she appeared at the District B Magistrates Court earlier today. Police say 20-year-old Chantel Shonelly White appeared in court and was fined $15,000 forthwith for possession of cannabis, or 3 years in prison, and $15,000 forthwith for trafficking of cannabis, or another 3 years in prison. Both sentences are to run concurrently if the fines are not paid. Police say White was convicted, reprimanded and discharged for intent to supply, and reprimanded and discharged for importation of the drugs. White arrived in Barbados by air from Jamaica yesterday evening and was interviewed by police, where a search revealed a cardboard box containing 2 packs of bread with 5 pounds of cannabis stuffed inside the bread. A 13-year-old girl is tonight still recovering from last night's fall into a well at Maynard's in St. Peter. Danielle Corbin of Rowan's Park, St. George, was standing on the cover of the well, which broke away. She spent just over half of an hour in the well before being rescued by a team from the Barbados Fire Service about 7:27. Aside from abrasions about her body, the young girl complained of pain to the lower back and her right ankle. She was taken to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital for treatment. In other news now, policies need to be established in Barbados and the rest of the Caribbean about the advertisement of unhealthy foods. This is according to Professor Sir Trevor Hassel, president of the Healthy Caribbean Coalition. He made the comments during a press briefing on the landmark Healthy Caribbean Coalition initiatives, which address chronic non-communicable diseases at Sagicor's Wildy headquarters.
The call to action speaks to, not surprisingly, recommendations that we should, throughout the Caribbean, put in place policies to ban the unhealthy advertising of, the advertising of unhealthy foods to children. We think that's important. There's also a call to action around issues around the use and abuse of alcohol. So that's another important call to action.
Professor Hassel says notwithstanding the economic impact of alcohol in Barbados and throughout the region, the issue of abuse can be addressed.
Even as we're conscious of the fact that alcohol is a potentially significant source of revenue generation for us throughout the Caribbean, even as we are conscious of that fact, we also must be mindful of the need to address the issue of the abuse of alcohol. Therein lies a challenge, but in my view, we can meet that challenge and overcome it as a people.
Meanwhile, one of the major sponsors of the coalition, Sagicor, has pledged its continued support and has urged others to join the fight against chronic non-communicable diseases.
The HCC, in my opinion, is an organization which has been built around a lot of people who have given it their own support, their own time, their own efforts. It needs more support. And I think that with Professor Sir Trevor at the head, Maisha, who is the manager of the HCC, both of them have done tremendous work for the HCC across the region, and I urge them to continue, and I urge all to give the full support to the HCC.
Barbados is to host the World Hip Hop Dance Contest. That event is expected to attract some 200 contestants from several countries as well as visitors. Project manager of the Gap Business Services, Hal Austin, says the contest, along with other initiatives, will give Barbados added exposure on the international scene. The grand prize for the World Hip Hop Festival is $100,000.
To crop over next year to utilize Minister Lashley Fat City at the gym for 10 days of competition. Collectively, we expect to spend approximately $100,000 for these marketing efforts over the next 6 months as we launch to you and the world these tourism initiatives. Our partners will be sourced both locally and globally as we understand the magnitude of these initiatives are wide and complex.
Mr. Austin welcomed the repair work on the St. Lawrence Boardwalk and says efforts will continue to bring life back to the Gap. Following the staging of the upcoming Top Gear Festival, a weekend of entertainment is planned to coincide with that show.
The 5 Gears Festival comprises of a street party on May the 16th, a street park festival from May the 17th to the 18th, dining experience at reduced prices in the Gap, staycations and games for our patrons. The most difficult part about this exercise is having confidence in ourselves, that we can achieve anything we want in a land of freedom and opportunities. And we as a group intend to aspire to our dreams and inspire the lives we touch, because our future is in our hands. And we can achieve greatness because there's greatness in all of us.
Barbadian employers and training providers stand to benefit significantly from a $13 million training grant. The government initiative is being funded by the Inter-American Development Bank and aims at better equipping the workforce with the skills and competencies needed to excel in the 21st century. Labour Minister Senator Dr. Esther Byers-Suku says the initiative can create new opportunities across a range of sectors. She made the comments at the Accra Hotel at the start of a series of workshops to help guide businesses and training providers in submitting proposals to access the funding.
The benefits of this 13 million Barbados competency-based training fund will be enormous. Successful implementation of the fund can help businesses and Barbados become more competitive nationally, regionally, and internationally. The Competency-Based Training Fund can help businesses become more competitive by improving employees' performance, but you all know that. By aligning training to the needs of the market, and that can improve the performance of businesses and the wider economy.
Dr. Bayersuku says the successful implementation of the Competency-Based Training Fund can help businesses and Barbados become more competitive.
The Skills for the Future program is designed to support government's human resource development strategy to improve the quality and relevance of secondary education and the effectiveness of Barbados's national TVET system. In addition to the Competency-Based Training Fund, the Skills for the Future program will also support execution of the human resource development strategy by seeking to enhance the relevant skills and qualifications of youth, those youth transitioning from secondary school to the labor market.
The TVET Council has shifted its focus to ensure more of its graduates find work after achieving certification. Executive Director Henderson Eastman says the Technical and Vocational Education and Training Council is partnering with players in the industry to make this a reality.
What we are trying to do is to make the training relevant to the needs of the society so that it is demand-driven, so that when you get training, it is a very high probability, 90% chance that you will get work. Because what we're doing now at a place like the Polytechnic, we're training and hoping that you get work. So what we're trying to do is to get the industry involved at the front. Tell us what you want.
One of the oldest churches in Barbados is celebrating its 170th anniversary. And to mark this milestone, the Bethel Methodist Church, located at Bay Street, held a Thanksgiving service. The church was first opened for public worship on March 28, 1844, and back then, up until 1848, it was referred to as the Bay Street Chapel. Congratulatory messages were read from the other Bethel circuits, and Superintendent Minister Reverend Clifton Morris provided a brief history of the church. Reverend Morris expressed concern that as a people of God and a nation, some Barbadians are not humble,
but have become arrogant, rude, and selfish, and self-centered. We do not see the need to pray, to seek the Lord, nor turn from our wicked ways. We see no need to wait upon the Lord to renew our strength, for we believe that we are self-made. But in this pericope, we know that God said, I will listen to every prayer made in my temple, this house of worship, that I have set apart to be my home forever.
Canadians now have an opportunity to serve their communities under a new youth arm created by the Rotary Club of Barbados. It's called Rotaract, which stands for Rotary in Action. President of the Rotary Club of Barbados West, Joseph Steinbach, spoke about the initiative during a cocktail and dinner reception over the weekend, attended by several Rotarians and members of the new body. Mr. Steinbach says young people between 18 and 30 years old are eligible to join the organization, which will help them to enhance their knowledge and skills for personal development. Members will also be able to address the physical and social needs of their community.
In this trying economic situation, and as things get tougher and tougher, Rotaract is a good avenue for the younger people that would like to be involved in a service organization like Rotary, to be able to do it without having the expense of being in Rotary itself.
It was celebration time for the Best family from St. Philip as the matriarch marked her 100th birthday.
Happy, happy birthday, happy, happy, happy.
That's how Barbados' newest centenarian, Geraldine Best, describes how she feels about reaching the milestone. Geraldine celebrated the day with a visit from Governor General Sir Elliot Belgrave, her 5 children, 25 grands and 24 great-grands. Asked how she spent the day, Geraldine said this.
I went to church yesterday and I had a happy, happy, happy time.
Okay.
I appreciate the service yesterday. Was very, very, very nice. And although I'm not in anything yet, but I appreciate today.
But the day was made even more special for the former domestic worker and labourer when she was reunited with her sister, Anne Elizabeth Hines, who incidentally is 101. Geraldine lives with her daughter in St. Philip and Anne Elizabeth lives in St. Michael. They don't usually spend time with each other, although they talk to each other every day via telephone. The two, the only surviving of 10 siblings, came to Barbados from St. Lucia in the 1960s. Anne Elizabeth says part of the secret to long life is eating well.
All food is good, but you know, I eat all kind of food, breadfruit, fish, cucumber, all kind of fish, all kind of juice, everything we eat. We never pick and choose, you know, rice and peas and everything.
Happy birthday, Geraldine, and all the best to the sisters.